Welcome to the Lenovo Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The Ottawa Senators, 4 straight wins headed into this matchup. The Carolina Hurricanes in their last 4, 3-0-1, an Eastern Conference matchup. Hello, everybody. I'm Max. Glad you're with us here on the NHL and MHS. One team of these teams that we're going to see tonight, one of the favorites to win the Stanley Cup. The other just trying to make a playoff spot right now in the Ottawa Senators. The Senators have won 4 straight. In their last 10, they're 6-2-2. They're the second best face-off team in the National Hockey League. They need to keep pushing here because they are a little bit behind in the playoff run and behind the playoff line for the wild card spot. They made it last year, but they got a huge win in Pittsburgh last night, a 3-2 win over the Penguins, and they were able to get the W there. And so this is a second half of a back-to-back for the Senators here tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes pretty good at home a couple of weeks ago. They saw that incredible comeback with the Mammoth, and the Hurricanes scoring 3 goals in regulation to come back from a 2-goal deficit. It's just unbelievable. In the last 2 minutes of the third period, it was unbelievable to just see that. It was like the third or fourth team, I believe, that did that ever in NHL history, and that was history right there as well, taking place there in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're going to be back here in the Lenovo Center. Ottawa on the road, 12-11-3. That's one thing they need to improve on, their road record. I mean, throughout this whole season, they have struggled. They've struggled through injuries. Brady Tkachuk's been out for some time now. He is in the lineup tonight, but throughout the course of this season, he's only played 34 games in the 54, 55 games that are going to happen here in this season. It's just unbelievable what we've seen here in this game, in this season for the Ottawa Senators. They have struggled a little bit. They haven't looked like the team from last year who lost in 6 games to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Toronto Maple Leafs themselves are a story of themselves where they don't look right as well. Ottawa needs to keep defensively because in their last 5 games, they have not allowed up more than 21 shots. 20 was the highest in Vegas on January 25th. The other one was 19 against Carolina, then a 4-1 loss. Colorado, a 5-2 victory. A lot of good stuff. If they can just keep the defensive game and limit the offensive players of the Carolina Hurricanes and Sebastian Aho and Seth Jarvis and all of those players that have been around the team, they could have a really good one. For the Carolina Hurricanes, they're just looking to step along here, and they're one of the best teams in the National Hockey League, top 5. They're just trying to keep their Eastern Conference lead, trying to get home ice advantage for the continuing of the Stanley Cup playoffs in 2 months from now. They're just trying to go out on a good note before the Olympic break. We will see if they would see some great hockey here tonight. We'll be back, everybody, here on the NHL and MHS. Puck Drop is next. Welcome you back, everybody, inside of the Lenova Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Starting goalies tonight, James Reimer for the Ottawa Senators. 5 games played this season, 2-2-1 record, and 3.05 goals against average, and a .874 save percentage. On the other side of things, Brandon Bussey been one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League. His first season, and he has done so great for this Carolina Hurricanes squad. There's Drake Batherson, 3 straight 20-plus goal seasons. He's at 19 this season. Let's see if he breaks it here tonight. As he's starting off with Bussey, 21-3-1, a 2.21 goals against average, and a .906 save percentage. He has been one of the best in the National Hockey League in just his first season. It is unbelievable to see what we've seen from Brandon Bussey. This might be the year where the Hurricanes have finally found their starting goaltender with Brandon Bussey there. Zub is back in the lineup, and he's out there with Dylan Cousins, and we're underway here inside the Lenova Center. Played along the boards as it's behind the net now, as it's deflected back in by Tkachuk, back in on the side. Just chopped wide of the net on that chance. And a save made, and a rebound goes wide. That was a close opportunity there as Tkachuk has it along the boards, played back to the point, long shot wide of the net as it goes into the far corner. Spence trying to race for it. Ehlers almost got it stolen away there by Dylan Cousins, as it's behind the net now. It is Keandre Miller. He'll settle things down behind his own cage as Nick Cousins is parked in front, pressuring him. A stretch pass, that is deflected, and that will be a whistle. 48 seconds into the game. Ottawa coming up hot here in the opening stages of the game, as they had a couple opportunities right there in front of Bussey. And this one right off the post for Dylan Cousins. Face-off one, and Gostisbehere rims it all the way around. Played along the boards as it's played nicely there by Shabbat. That will be an icing, though, on Ottawa. A minute in to this first period. The shots are 2-0 in favor of the Senators here in the game. And let's see what we see here, because already Ottawa's coming up to a fast start here. And both teams have iced the puck here. The Ottawa needs to really focus on their special teams, especially their penalty kill. They do not want to take a penalty tonight because they have one of the worst penalty kills in the league. Shot in front, rolled on Reimer, who gets the save there. And we've already had 3 whistles in the first minute and 5 seconds into this hockey game. There's Ron Brindamore. And head coach, been there for a long time with the Hurricanes. He played and he won the Cup in 06 with these Hurricanes. Blake along the boards as Taylor Hall will get it. Tied up along the boards, is played back. Nikishin, the shot, and it goes wide of the net. Gostisbehere in that near corner looks to center for Stankov, and that didn't go. Eller was trying to clear it, and he will. Out to center and back into the Hurricane zone as Taylor Hall will pick up the puck now. Gets through one, now gets it again. Would have carried that offside, and Stankoven touches offside on the Hurricanes. A minute and 33 seconds into the first period. We have seen a lot of whistles here in the early stages of this game, 4 or 5 already. And no tempo to this one so far, as first game we've done with the Hurricanes in our NHL and MHS coverage. 72 wins for Travis Green as the Ottawa Senators head coach, looking for win 73 from the point. Shot, save made. Good opportunity there by Jalen Jatfield. An 85.1 mile per hour shot as Batherson tried to carry it ahead and he couldn't. Svechnikov now will take it ahead. Shooting it back in from the red line. The shots are even at 1. Reimer plays it behind the cage. Sanderson uses the backboards to deflect that one out to center, as Giroux will dump it back in. Into the corner, Tim Stützle lost it along the boards there to Chatfield, and Jarvis will carry it ahead. Seth Jarvis, nice pass here for Svechnikov. Shot, and that goes wide of the net. Oh, an opportunity and a save made from the boards. Eller behind the net, now moved to the head for Artem Zub right through the middle. Zetterlund will dump it back in as he uses the glass. It's deflected out of play into the crowd, and we get another whistle. 2:28 into the first period. Now this is the opportunity from Aho from the near boards, right on Reimer, who had to come back and make that stop. Shots are 2-0 in favor of the Hurricanes. Remove both the Ottawa shots that were there earlier on. Jankowski, and he's forced back. Reimer, 29 wins in 2 seasons with the Hurricanes when he played here with Carolina. Eller along the near boards, plays it back. Shot from the point, they score! The deflection in front. Halliday gets it. And the Ottawa Senators are up by 1 here on the road. Eller, the pass to Spence, who fires that home from the blue line. And the Senators pick up a 1-0 lead here on the road. A deflection there by Stephen Halliday, his 4th of the season. And it becomes a 1-0 lead for Ottawa on their first shot. They're 18-4-3 when scoring the first goal. Tkachuk back in, backhander save. Rebound was there. And Cousins fishes it free into the corner. Gregg tied up along the boards by Stahl. Centering pass, shot. Cousins couldn't get it. Dylan Cousins with an opportunity in a 3-on-2 the other way for the Hurricanes. Stahl back in, feeds it into the middle. Nice pass. Ehlers just rolled off his stick. Ehlers holds it in along the blue line. Fed it behind the net. Big hit. Clevin. Stahl takes it away. Tied up with Dylan Cousins. Fed back up top to the point. The long shot deflected down. Stahl trying to get it. And Ottawa clears it. Nice response shift there by the Hurricanes, but cannot cash in on the O-zone opportunity. Slavin behind his own cage now. So the first goal of the game coming to Ottawa. They've been pretty good with the lead, too, when scoring first, actually, in hockey games this season, as it's played along the near boards as Jensen lost it. Stützle leaves it for Jensen. Played it along the boards for Giroux, had some trouble with it on the backhand. Reverses it back to Jensen. And Clevin will stretch it ahead. That'll be an icing here on Ottawa. And the Senators have a 1-0 lead here. A big goal by Halliday. And he makes it a 1-0 lead. If you just joined us, huge goal there. The Senators trying to win their 5th straight game and be 7-1-2 or 7-2-1. As they're trying to get 7 wins in the last 10 games for him. So his 4th of the season at 246. Spence and Eller with the assists. And the Senators pick up the 1-0 lead as Gostisbehere fed it across. Here's Taylor Hall on that near side. Lost it to Shabbat on the forecheck. Jensen reverses it around as it's not cleared out of the zone just yet by Amadian. That flipped out to center and deflected out of play, but it's off a stick, so no delay of game penalty. And the faceoff will come back into the Senator zone. Nice screen here by Stephen Halliday. Halliday, whatever you say it. And 4 goals, 7 assists in 24 games this season. Decent enough. 11 points in the 24 games he's played. Artem Zub has the puck, using his body to guard it. Stankoven along the boards. Stankoven trying to get it again. Bouncing puck. Stankoven up in the air. Low shot. Rebound Stankoven. An open net, and he couldn't put it in as he tried to bat it home. And covered by Reimer. Oh, wow. Logan Stankoven with the opportunity, and the Hurricanes cannot convert there on that. Wow. That was an open net there for Stankoven. I don't think he had the angle. He bats that one out of midair. I think Sanderson might have gotten a stick on it as well. Still, though, that goes to the top of the crease. An awkward one, and Reimer was spinning all the way around in his crease as Sanderson gets it off the draw. Sanderson backhands that one out to center. Miller intercepts, throws it back into the far corner. Zub along the boards, feed it back for Sanderson. Miller pressuring Zetterlund. Miller got up, something up high, and a power play upcoming, and it's going against the Ottawa Senators as they take the penalty, and the Hurricanes have a chance to respond here on the man advantage as Zetterlund goes to the box for high sticking. And it's going to be a high sticking call. 2 minutes for high sticking. The referees tonight, Ryan Pochmara and Furman South. The linespersons, Devin Berg and Jeremy Fosher. And that was, let's see this again. Yeah, I think that should be that is the right call there. At 4:58, high sticking and a chance here on the power play. Hurricanes power play, 13th ranked in the National Hockey League with a 21.6% effectiveness. Looking to tie the game here. Stahl wins the draw off a skate and is forced back out to center. Into the Ottawa zone, or into the, in the Carolina zone. Bussey played it for Gostisbehere. Shane Gostisbehere drops it off. Here's some speed now from Ehlers as he'll carry it ahead. And Ehlers, a nice move. Poke checked off his stick. And Svechnikov couldn't get there. Gostisbehere trying to force it back to the point. As Jarvis trying to hold it in, pressured by two Senators and Amadio and Greg, pardon me. Up in the air, it's near the glass. And out to center it goes. Gostisbehere now. 6th ranked power play at home for the Hurricanes. Ehlers now for Svechnikov along the board. Spins back from pressure. Got it back off a block by Zub. Svechnikov not out of the zone. Aho. His pass blocked there by Amadio. They'll have to re-enter once again. Aho almost got it stolen away there by Pinto. Svechnikov along the boards. Moving in deeper into the zone. Forced back to the point for Gostisbehere. Back along the boards is Jarvis. Movement here by the Hurricanes. Fed it across the ice as a shot went wide. Jarvis backhands that one into the middle for Aho. Gostisbehere, the shot down low in front. Ehlers in his stick or whatever. It went into the glove and now it gets pushy there. At the center of the cage with 43 seconds to go on the power play. Welcome you in, everybody, for just joining us. We're about to be 7 minutes into this first period inside the Lenova Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I think this got into the equipment, the puck into the skates of one of the Hurricanes players. I think that's Ehlers. Nikolai Ehlers had it stuck in his skate, and that's why the play was blown dead. That is, you rarely see that. And Ehlers still has it stuck in his skates, so he's going to try to get it out. He's using a stick to try to whack it out. They'll get a new puck, I think. And that thing is stuck in there. 43 to go on the man advantage as the faceoff comes back out the center. Nikishin, as the second power play unit, is on here for the Hurricanes. As Stankoven picks up some speed. Stankoven fed it for Nikishin. Or Blake, pardon me. Nikishin back to the point. Stankoven's in the middle as Blake surveys his options. Stankoven still open. Blake down low. Hall and a save! Reimer with an opportunity. I don't think Hall really got the shot away. It just bounced on his stick, and Reimer said, let me cover before anything develops there. And they do get the whistle. Shots are even at 3. He got a deflection, kind of. The puck was still loose. I don't know why they said that was covered. The puck was loose there. The referee lost sight of it. 20 seconds to go on the man advantage. Stankoven trying to win the draw. He couldn't, as it's fed around the boards and cleared down the length of the ice by the Senators. Even though they have the 30th ranked penalty kill in the National Hockey League, they have done pretty well to kill off the majority of this power play that expires in 5 seconds as Taylor Hall drops it off for Stankoven. A nice move. Stankoven in. Stankoven dropped it. Hall. Hall, a shot over the net. Almost a nice setup, though, by Taylor Hall with Stankoven. Taylor Hall back in. Jankowski in the middle on the backhand. Jankowski dropped it off for Stankoven. A shot. That got blocked into the netting and out of play. 12:47 left remaining here in the first period. It is a 1-0 lead for the Ottawa Senators. We'll be back, everybody. Welcome you back, everybody, to the Lenovo Center inside of Raleigh, North Carolina. As the Hurricanes down 1-0 to the Ottawa Senators here. There's James Reimer, 47 games in his career with the Hurricanes. Did pretty well in his 2-season stint with these Canes. Now he is with the Ottawa Senators after he was in Detroit last season. Tkachuk deflects that in his career. 227 wins for James Reimer, looking for his 228th here tonight. Sanderson plays it off the boards out to center. Played back here by Miller. Miller deflects that one as it's Martinuk who loses the puck. Batherson trying to get to the loose puck now. As it's poked that away. Cousins back in. Cousins a shot. Short side deflects into the near corner. Shot from the boards. Deflected wide. Goes back to the point for Zub. Zub the shot. Deflected off the pad. Oh, that was a good chance there as Dylan Cousins forces it back to the point. Zub a shot deflected. Loose puck in front. And Bussy's got it. Oh, Bussy fell down, but he made the save as the deflection in front got between his pads and he covered it. But Ottawa been able to get shots from the blue line here and able to get deflections. And they've done pretty good at that, and they almost got their second goal of the game right there. And that was all Dylan Cousins right there, setting up the opportunities right in front of Bussy. Shots are even at 4, almost 8 minutes into the opening period here in Raleigh, North Carolina. The faceoff is dug for, then comes free for the Senators as Zetterlund gets it. Zetterlund centered off the stick of Bussy. It goes into the far corners. Kakayemi will clear it all the way down for an icing on the Hurricanes. .56 to go here in the first period. Brandon Bussy, fewest games to 20 career wins. 24 for Brandon Bussy. That is NHL history there. Unbelievable. That is utter insanity. How he's able to do it in just 24 games to get 20 wins in his young NHL career. Carrier steals it away from the blue line on Spence as Kakayemi turns it over to Zetterlund, who uses the boards to clear it ahead here. Nice pass as he moves it ahead. Halliday plays it behind the net for Eller. Eller lost it as Spence gets tied up along the boards and moved right into the middle for Slavin, who shoots it back in from the red line. Clevin reverses it back here for Zetterlund. Touch pass back for Clevin. Clevin in his own zone moves between the circles. Clevin surveying his options. Still surveying, uses the boards, and that will be played behind the net by Bussy. Loose puck in front, and he mishandled it, and Ottawa can't take advantage of it. Aho the other way. Sebastian Aho lost the puck. That pass for Jarvis was blocked as it's Stützle trying to get out of the zone. Zub will deflect that out to center and shot back in from the blue line. Reimer, now Jensen, reverses it back. And it's Shabbat now, who will look to move it ahead and uses the boards, deflected back in. Here's Stützle. Stützle, Bussy way out of the net. Bussy still out of the net. Great pass, Stützle in front. Oh, what a save, Bussy! Can you believe it? Tic-tac-toe and it wouldn't go. Another Bussy save right there for the highlight reels. That's unbelievable. Wow. Nick Cousins with the opportunity, and it hits the pad as Bussy was way out of the net. Nice touch pass by Stützle to give it to Nick Cousins. Wow. What a stop by Bussy. Face-off one. Zoop from the blue line. Shot deflected wide. He has been great here at home. That deflected wide. 14-1 here at home. .893 save percentage. He has been big. He robbed a game here early on in the season against the Buffalo Sabres in a 2-1 affair. Gostisbehere now will look to move it ahead using the boards. Here's Taylor Hall trying to get to that loose puck. He couldn't. Sanderson now will flip it ahead. That one turned over to Stankoven. Will deflect that one back in, then blocked away there as Stankoven will get it back right to the middle. Taylor Hall's offside. 9:53 remaining. Brandon Bussey saving the Hurricanes right now, as it could have been a 2-goal deficit. But he made a spectacular save on Nick Cousins. 1-0, Senators lead. We'll be back, everybody. Welcome you back, everybody, to Raleigh, North Carolina. An unbelievable stop by Bussey keeps us a 1-0 lead for the Ottawa Senators. Jake Sanderson, most points in a month, sends defenseman franchise history. Last month, he was at 17, one away from tying Erik Karlsson in February 2012 in Sens history. And it's off the face-off, one outside the Ottawa blue line by the Hurricanes as they dump it back in. Clevin, as Greg deflects that out to center. As Chatfield will dump it back in. Clevin again. Jake Sanderson played almost 30 minutes last night in Pittsburgh with only 2 shots on goal. Right in front of the Carolina bench, it is Greg dumping that one back in. Slavin now will play it back for Chatfield. Jalen Chatfield will shoot it back in from the red line. Reimer tried to play it behind the net. Spence couldn't get it. Spence gets it now in the corner. He'll flip it out to center. Will it go all the way for an icing? It will. 9:13 to go in the first period. 6-5 shots favoring the Ottawa Senators here in the contest. And if you're just joining us, welcome. Delighted to have you with us here on the NHL and MHS's coverage. And we'll be covering the Stanley Cup playoffs. This is going to be our last NHL broadcast until the Olympics end. Gostisbehere from the blue line. Gostisbehere holds onto it in the circle. Gostisbehere backhand pass, and no one was there. Race for the puck now. Bussey out of the net once again in that corner. And almost another giveaway as it goes into the corner for Holiday. And Gostisbehere now. And flipped out the center. And dumped back in by Lars Eller. Nikishin behind his own cage will start it ahead. Nikishin through center. Splits through 2. Nikishin carries it ahead. Nice moves there by Nikishin to enter the zone. Played along the boards as it jammed. Played behind the net, and Ottawa. Nick Cousins trying to clear it. He couldn't as he fell down to Shabbat now behind his own cage. Uses the backboards to move it ahead here for Jensen. Deflected, so no icing. 8:20 remaining. Stankoven gets it along the boards by Pinto. Matteo trying to get away from Stankoven. He couldn't. Taylor Hall uses the boards. Not out of the zone just yet. Artem Zub held it in. Batherson parked in front of the net. Shot! That ripped wide. A 99.7 mile per hour shot by Sanderson. The other way comes Stankoven. Stankoven reverses back. Stankoven dropped it into the middle, and Miller could not handle it. And the other way come the Senators, and that pass was out of the reach. And the other way come the Hurricanes now. Stankoven along the boards, lost it to Stützle. And Giroux back for Stützle. Stützle carries it ahead. Giroux with some room. Passes it across. Ice shot. And that just missed wide. Batherson with the opportunity. Wow. No one knew how to handle the puck until that last rush by the Senators, and Giroux, a great pass to Batherson. And that one might have went off the might have gotten a piece of Bussy. He's made 7 saves on 8 shots. Reimer's made 5. Chatfield has a tie-up in the face-off dot. 2 bodies fell down. We continue on. Jalen Chatfield, as they're slaving along the boards, he will look to move it ahead through center. Chatfield will get the pass from Slavin. Chatfield along the boards looks to backhand that one in front of the net, and he couldn't, as it was intercepted there by Dylan Cousins. Back in on side. They lose the puck there to Ehlers, and Chatfield will pick it up now, right through the middle. Here come the Hurricanes as it's dumped into the far corner by Martinuk, and then Stahl plays it behind the net for Martinuk. Martinuk tied up with Shabbat, played back to the point by Chatfield. Moving it nicely here, down low. It goes behind the net now for Stahl. Stahl looks to center. That went to the top of the crease. Shot by Slavin was blocked on the way through. Martinuk along the boards plays it behind the net for Stahl. Played it back to the point, Chatfield. Back for Slavin. Slavin feeds it in deep off the side of the cage and didn't go. Shabbat. Now Kachuk looking to clear it. He will not for the moment. Slavin holds it in along the blue line. It is tied up along the boards in front of the Ottawa bench. And now it is cleared by Thomas Shabbat. No icing as Keandre Miller plays that cross ice and shot back in from center by Sean Walker. Sanderson along the boards got taken down from behind. Zub now will backhand that one into the middle. Pinto lost it. Svechnikov off the turnover. Jarvis now feeds it in deep to the corner for Aho. Jarvis now in that far corner plays it back. Here's Miller. Miller with some room. A shot. Deflected save. Reimer on that opportunity that slowed down. Svechnikov along the near boards plays it back for Miller. Plays it across. Shot by Walker. Blocked on the way through. Got in a piece of Reimer, too. Here's Walker. Back in his own zone. Aho will shoot it back in. Knocked down by Reimer using the glass and a stick. And it's another turnover. Hall has Aho in front. Blake now Hall behind the net. Aho's on that opposite corner. Hall behind the net now for Aho. Plays it back to the point for Chatfield. Back for Aho. That bounced on his stick. Slavin deflects that one into the corner. Zub. Sanderson now Batherson. Plays it off the near boards, and Giroux trying to get there first, and he couldn't. Nice play there at center ice. Chatfield now for Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall pressured off the puck there by Spence for a moment. Spence, one of the players, lost their stick along the boards. Here come the Senators the other way. That flip pass was not clean enough, and Chatfield plays it for Blake. Jackson Blake carries it ahead. Offside on the Hurricanes with 4:39 remaining here in the first period. Stützle frustrating himself that he could not create an opportunity there. Hurricanes coming close. The deflection going wide. 4:39 to go. We'll be back. Welcome you back, everybody, to Raleigh, North Carolina. As we previously mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Ottawa Senators last night played against Pittsburgh, beating Shilovs in a 3-2 final for the Senators, their fourth straight victory. Dumped back in as it goes back into the Hurricane zone as Bussey tries to play that puck around. Ehlers trying to get it. Lost it at center. Played back here. Zetterlund between the circles. Clevin flips that out to center. Back in on side is Greg carrying it ahead. Tkachuk will get it. Shot. Blocked on the way through. Tkachuk will get it again along the boards. Now into the corner. Brady Tkachuk pressured by Sean Walker. Tkachuk still with the puck, but then poked away there. And Miller will have the puck now. Keandre Miller now for Marinook. Marinook drops it off into the middle by Ehlers. Had Miller cutting, and the pass was picked off. Halliday will shoot that one back in as it's played by Bussey. Jankowski had some trouble. Almost a turnover here potentially, but they recover in Gostisbehere. Jankowski and cleared out the center. Speed now for Nikishin as he shoots it back around from the blue line. No one there at the blue line for the holding of the puck, and Bussey will play it for Gostisbehere. Shane Gostisbehere now makes a move there on Amadio and shot back in from center. Played along the boards as it was worked around nicely as Shabbat now will play it around the boards and Jensen will clear it out to center. Dumped back in by the Hurricanes. Shabbat gets it once again. That stretch pass for Tkachuk was broken up. Flipped into the corner though as Nick Cousins got it. Nick Cousins still pursuing the puck. Amadio forces it back to the point. Shot deflected. Save. Rebound. What a save, Bussey. Rebound goes wide. What a deflection. Shot over the net. Amadio with the opportunity. Oh, wow. Brandon Bussey is saving the Hurricanes right now. Here is Blake the other way on the backhand. Forced off by Sanderson. Stan coming along the forwards as he will play it behind the net. As it's Taylor Hall parked in front. There's Taylor Hall behind the net, actually. Taylor Hall now. Taylor Hall holds, shoots right into the glove of Reimer. With 2:17 remaining here in the first period, Brandon Bussey, another big stop. What a save on Pinto on the rebound. Wow. It is all Bussey here in the first period. After that first goal, he is looking not to let up another one. Wow, it is just incredible to see what he's done. That's why he's been one of the best goaltenders in the National Hockey League this season. Face-off in the Hurricane zone. Aho wins the tie-up. Shot from the point. Aho a save. Jarvis in the crease. They score! And the Hurricanes have tied it. With 2:11 remaining here in the first period, the rebound came to Jarvis in that blue crease there, Aho. And I think that actually goes in off of Sanderson, actually. I don't know if Aho got the deflection there or got a stick on it. It might be Aho. No, I think that might have gone off the skate of Jarvis. No, it's because of Sanderson. I think this is going to be Aho's goal. If not, it will be Jarvis. 2:11 remaining. And the Hurricanes have evened the game. A little bit of delay here. Travis Green looking at the monitors. Maybe they want to challenge this. No, they're not. 2:11 remaining. And the ninth shot on goal beats Reimer. And we got a tie hockey game. All those saves by Bussey. Could be a 3-0 Ottawa lead. Instead, it's 1-1. Shot back in from the red line. Big saves by Bussey leads to that goal right there. Zub will move it ahead. Nick Cousins now as Amadio flips it around. Pinto dumps that one back in. It's going to be an icing on Ottawa. They did not get a stick on it. And with 1:58 to go, the faceoff will go back into the Ottawa zone. Wow, this is such an unlucky break there for Ottawa right there. This is a loose puck, top of the crease. I think this hits off of Sanderson or Jarvis. And so we got a 1-1 hockey game First period, Stankoven in that face-off dot against Pinto. Stankoven tried to win the draw, and Pinto won it instead. Sanderson will move it ahead here for Nick Cousins, who dumps it back in. And Matty on the forecheck on Walker. Walker on the backhand, gets away from pressure. Uses the boards to get it out to center. Taylor Hall lost it. Turned over back to the Ottawa Senators. Matteo. Nick Cousins deflected it ahead here for Dylan Cousins into the corner. Dylan Cousins tied up along the boards, feeds it to Matteo. Found a man open, shot, Clevin, save! Bussy again, shot blocked on the way through. Matteo behind the net. Spence now, the shot, rebound loose into the corner. Nick Cousins now. Nick Cousins holds, centering pass, deflected into the corner. Amadio fed back up top to the point by Clevin, broken up there as the pass was intended for Spence. A diving play there by Taylor Hall. Stanko and now for Blake. Blake in the high slot. Blake a nice move, shot block on the way through. Loose puck to Slavin. Slavin fires on goal and a save made. Reimer off the mask with a minute left to go. Wow. What action here after the Hurricanes goal. Ottawa almost took the lead, and then an odd man rush the other way as the shots are 11-10 in favor of the Senators and in a 1-1 hockey game here in Carolina. Aho now in the face-off dot. Aho's 20th of the season. It was Aho's goal. It was not Jarvis's. Aho with his 20th. Miller the assist. Face-off won by Jarvis. Aho back to the point. Slavin the shot blocked from the point as it was Greg who blocked it. Greg forces it back out the center and shot back in by Pinto. Played by Bussy behind the cage. Turned it over almost again to Brady Tkachuk, but Jalen Chatfield tied him up. Man, Bussy's just been brutal with the puck movement behind his own cage. Brady Tkachuk and Slavin. Slavin will move it ahead, deflected out to center. No icing with 30 seconds remaining here in the final, in the first period, as it was Greg. Pinto tied up by Svechnikov. Jarvis now. Aho will move it ahead. And now Svechnikov throwing some punches behind the play. No whistle just yet. Jarvis holds on to it. Jarvis looking. Fed it behind the net. Now it goes into the corner. Chatfield. 3 seconds remaining here in the period. Jarvis looks to center one. That gets knocked away. That'll do it for the first. A 1-1 hockey game. Halliday with the goal to make it 1-0. And Aho ties it up after 20. And we have an even game at 1 after the first 20 minutes. This is a Pinto and Svechnikov behind the play, getting tussled up, and nothing developed there, but some good action here in the first first third of this game, as it's a 1-1 tie. Our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL and MHS. We'll be back, everybody. Welcome you back, everybody, to the intermission report here on the NHL on MHS. As we welcome you back in a 1-1 hockey game in our game, the Hurricanes and the Senators. And we're glad you're with us here on the NHL and MHS coverage. We'll take you to another game that's happening right now on the MHS2 Sabres Lightning.
Corner! Holding on to it, trying to throw that one in front. Friendly fire, Kucherov. Back pass, gets it back. Save by Ellis. Coming up big right there off of a quick storm from the Lightning, but not able to strike first. We'll take a break. Just over the midway point of the first period. We'll take a break.
And we now welcome you to our intermission report, continuing here, and I know everyone's just left our stream, but let's continue on here, and let's see what's happening in our game if you haven't checked it out. All right, so a 1-1 tie in our one, and shots were 11-10 in favor of the Ottawa Senators. They played a good first half of that game, and you could argue they played a spectacular first period. They just left the goal. But this was the first goal. 2:46 in, Halliday with the goal. Spence and Eller with the assist. This is just a deflection from the shot from the blue line by Spence. Great pass here by Eller along the boards. A simple one there, beating Bussey. The screen in front, and then Bussey made saves after saves after saves. It was unbelievable. He made some spectacular stops. And then this was the tying goal right here. Face-off win, important. Ottawa, second best team in the face-off. They don't win that one. It costs them as Sebastian Aho. It goes off Jake Sanderson's skate in front. Miller with the assist, and we have a 1-1 game. After the first period, 56% of the faceoffs won by the Hurricanes. 0 for 1 on the power play. The Hurricanes 9-8. The hits favoring the Hurricanes. 7-4. The block shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. Giveaways 6-5 in favor of the Senators. And the takeaways were even at 1. And now they're saying the shots were even at 10 after 20. And let's look around another scores around the National Hockey League before we send you back to our bonus coverage. And yeah, let's see. What are the scores around the National Hockey League? If it loads. We'll be back, and then we'll get the scores. Oh, no, never mind. Here you go. I think. Oh, man. Here we go. Okay, these are the other games around the National Hockey League. No scoring, basically, except for the Capitals-Flyers game. Owen Tippett made it 1-0 in favor of the Philadelphia Flyers. Sanheim and Michkov with the assist. Michkov some rumblings that he does not feel comfortable to be in Philadelphia anymore. And now the Lightning scored first in our bonus coverage. Let's send it there.
And the Lightning strike first! Took a pinball out in front, and Kucherov able to finish off the job, and it's 1-0. What a start for the Lightning!
So that is happening right now on MHS2 if you want to tune in. Kucherov with the goal, his 29th of the season. Genso with his 34th assist. And the Tampa Bay Lightning up 1-0 after that incredible comeback in their Stadium Series game. Truly unbelievable. We'll be right back, and we'll give you more coverage on the intermission report. And see if it continues on here with the bonus coverage. We'll be back, everybody.
At the near corner. Jousting for it. And a whistle blowing 9:25. So Goncalves to the box for holding. We'll take a quick break. But no Friday power play coming up for the Sabres. It was Goncalves for holding. So, here we go. Nikita Kucherov, two-time Stanley Cup champion. Up to the line, throws it in net. Thompson at a save at the corner. Quinn back up to the left point. Dahlin throws that one in around. At the corner, McDonough up ahead and in on net. Dahlin looking to see what he's going to do with it. Past the line. Back pass to the trailer. Thompson now. Big boy with a bit of speed. Oh, ricochet to himself. Throws in that net. Saved by Vasilevsky and Ryan McDonough. Quinn is there. Gensel zipped that one down the ice. Dahlin at 6'6", getting through the line. Throws out and across at the right wing. Doan holding on. Left wing Dahlin looking to play that across. Fluttered through the stick of Quinn. Hedman on him. Quinn ripped it around at the outside. Doan. Trailer Dahlin. Point pass to Thompson. Back to the trailer Dahlin. Down low Doan. Doan waiting. Moser on him. At the corner, zip that one up to the left point, Quinn. Here come the Lightning for a second. Gord now on a one-on-one, pinballs on the stick. Sabres get on it, under a minute to go on the power play for the Sabres, 37. Thompson. Here's Bowen Byram. Passed in the neutral zone to the left wing. He'll get past. Back pass, it'll go for McLeod. Rosen at the corner, back to McLeod. He'll forward it back up to the point. Byram holding on to it. Squint back pass to Ostlund. Ostlund. Byram holding on to it at the left point. 12-2 on the power play. Byram down low Ostlund. He'll walk up. Tuck. On top, Byram a drive and a save. That one may hit McLeod, and 1 second to go, they kill it. Bowen Byram now with the puck. Killed less 23 of 25. Byram plays that one back. Here's Power at the right corner. Goncalves after him. getting harassed. Power at the point. Goncalves there at the far wing. James Goncalves back up to the line. Throws that across Carlisle. Ricocheted cross corner. Allenstein leads that one ahead. Try to connect with a man in the neutral zone. Free puck near the bench. And the near wall. Zip that one around, took a deflection, and let's see. Whistle there. So Victor Hedman back in the lineup tonight. Off the draw, out of the zone. Here's Colton Ellis, gives it out to his man, Owen Power. Jorgensen was there, but here come the Lightning. Samuelson, play that one ahead into the through. As Allen goes in deep at the corner. Radish able to lift out of the zone, out of foot races. Power with Gord. Gord in alone, and a save by Ellis. Coming up there big with 6:16 and some extras after a late poke. And it's getting a little violent. Gergensen is there. Oh, the height difference right there between Gergensen. Gergensen standing at 6'3", by the way, against the 6'7". But look at this play just right into Ellis. As Gord made it look like he was going to the left. Then he jumped to the stick of Power, able to jump off of him, and then moved in, had a golden opportunity. At the right point, Radish. At the far wing, tripped up. No, and there's a call. So the Sabres get another opportunity. As the Lightning lead 1-0, an opportunity coming up here on the power play for the Lightning. J.J. Moser getting the clip. With 6:05 in the first.
Welcome you back, everybody, to North Carolina. The second period about to start. Halliday made it 1-0. His fourth of the season. Spence and Eller with the assists on that first goal. The shots are 10-9. They changed it in favor of the Ottawa Senators. And we have a 1-1 hockey game going into the second period here in Raleigh, North Carolina. First goal, a shot from the blue line by Spence, deflected in by Halliday. And we got a 1-0 game, and Bussey was a story after that as he made saves after saves after saves until Carolina finally got on the board. Insane stops that no human being should be able to make, but he did. And that's the difference right now. Ottawa could be up by 4 or 3 or by a lot more. Instead, they are still stuck at 1-1. As the Hurricanes tied it late in that opening period with less than 2.5 to go. Clevin as we're underway here in the second. And here is Dylan Cousins moving it ahead. Tkachuk back for Dylan Cousins, driving towards the net. Thought he had a man open. Greg now, Dylan Cousins' shot blocked on the way through as Ehlers mishandled it, played it back. He'll get the puck back here, and here come the Hurricanes the other way. Miller dumps it back in, rimmed all the way around. Played along the boards and forced off by Greg and out to center. Walker will shoot it back in. Spence now with the puck will stretch it ahead. Tkachuk has a cutter in Stützle, and that deflected away. Giroux, Stützle behind the net, now into the corner. Stützle fed into the high slot shot, blocked on the way through. It was Jensen with the opportunity, and held in inadvertently by Stützle. Then it deflected out of play. 1 minute and 3 seconds into the second period. And chance right there, and couldn't be able to put that one home. And a good opportunity goes to waste right there. 11-9, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators here in this one. And Giroux in the face-off dot against Aho wins it. Shot wide of the net off the draw. Sanderson played it into the corner for Batherson. Batherson now holds on to it. Batherson along the near boards, shot it towards the net. It goes behind the net instead as Slavin cut it down. And Chatfield lost the puck there as Sanderson ices the puck there. And he'll be back in the Ottawa Senators zone. So again, like the first period, a lot of whistles early on. Already 2 or 3 of them in the opening stage of the middle frame here in Raleigh, North Carolina, in a 1-1 tie. Ottawa and the Hurricanes facing off as Aho and Giroux in the face-off. Aho won the draw. Slavin from the blue line, the shot right into the glove of Reimer. He makes the stop there from long distance, his first save of the second period. As the shots are 11-10 now in favor of the Sens still. There's Travis Green trying to lead his team to a 5th straight win. They are fighting for their playoff lives as they're 6 or 7 points out of a playoff spot right now. And they need every point that they can get right now, especially against the Eastern Conference opponents. Jankowski, Zub tied up as it's played back. Gostisbehere, a shot from the blue line was stopped. An 89.7 mile per hour shot there by Shane Gostisbehere from the point. Stopped into the glove of Reimer once again. As the faceoff will still stay in the Ottawa zone. And it's just going to be very interesting to see what the tone is here in the second period. Ottawa felt like they probably should have gotten better in that first period in regard to the goals, but Bussey was there. Does that help the Hurricanes' mentality? Like, oh, we can steal a game. Bussey can steal a game, and now we can finally get to our game after kind of a sloppy first period for the Hurricanes. And it's Eller clearing it out to center for Zetterlund, who gets hit off the puck for Jankowski. Gostisbehere now, deflected up in the air. Where's the puck? Where'd it go? And they just whistle it down. That is a weird one right there. Minute and 52 into the middle frame. Tuesday night hockey here on NHL and MHS. This will be our last NHL broadcast until the Olympics are over. We'll cover Olympic hockey. We'll cover the gold medal game, the bronze medal game, all that. Those are going to be early broadcasts, obviously, if you're in the USA. And these are going to be real tough unless you live in that area where the games are later. Cocking Yemi along the boards will be tough for me. I got to get up early for those ones. Played along the boards as Carrier forces it back to the point, and Gostisbehere will go back for the puck. Shane Gostisbehere now in his own zone. Has the puck in his behind the net of Bussey. Gostisbehere now behind his own cage. We'll play it across for Nikishin as it's Carrier now at center. Fell down. And Halliday plays it back as Eller back for Clevin, shooting it back in from the red line. Gostisbehere tries to backhand that one around. Centering pass right in front for Halliday. Wet in his skates. A good opportunity there. And it's shot back in from the blue line by Carolina as the shots are even at 11. As a turnover here is Taylor Hall with Stankoven. Stankoven a chance off his skate. Stankoven forces it back up top of the point. Stützle intercepts Greg now. And here come the Senators the other way. Stützle fell down on his own. Greg backhands that one out of play into the netting. And this opportunity here, Taylor Hall and Stankoven on a 2-on-1 after the missed pass there by someone out in front of Halliday. And then Stützle, maybe should have gotten a penalty there. Did he? I think he did. Maybe. I don't think he did. I don't think he drew a call. So Ottawa does not go to that power play where they probably thought they should have. That looked like a trip right there. Okay, a 1-1 tie in Tampa Bay with the Buffalo Sabres. That's a good one right now. Two Eastern Conference opponents. Pittsburgh and the Islanders tied at 1. In our game here, we're tied at 1 as well. Shot through the top of the crease. Goes back for Walker. Walker holds it along the boards. Martinuk forces it back in deep in the corner. Stahl in the corner. Stahl tied up. Stahl tries to center. That did not go as Martinuk. As they're trying to cycle around, Ehlers lost the puck to Shabbat. And Jensen has to get there first, and he does not. Jarvis got there into the corner. Martinuk has a man in front and Stahl. Here's Ehlers. Ehlers in front, and Stahl could have received the pass. It's deflected. Walker now with the puck. Walker behind the net. Walker shifty behind the net as it goes back to the point. Stahl a shot wide of the net from the point. Fed back in deep into the corner. Miller cross ice, and the pass could not connect for Stahl as Tkachuk rides him off the play. And at the center is Greg forces the puck out. Walker, stretch pass, deflected off a Carolina stick. Shabbat will get it in the corner in his own zone. Deflected ahead here as Amadio drops it off for Pinto, flip it back in from the blue line. Into that far corner as Nikishin lost it along the boards as here's Nick Cousins battling for it. Inside Carolina territory here as Gostisbehere got it free in the corner. Nikishin now will use the boards to move it ahead here for Gostisbehere, or for Svechnikov, pardon me. Svechnikov uses the glass to dump it in deeper. Zub tied up. Sanderson will move it ahead and it'll flip back out to center ice. The Ottawa Senators got it out. Nick Cousins, great pass almost. Matteo, Nick Cousins dropped it off. Pinto the shot. Save, rebound. Nick Cousins, open net, missed it. Shot, save again. Oh, Bussey. Another stop. Sanderson from the blue line. The shot. Blocked down. Rebound shot. Blocking the way through. Pinto couldn't get it. Pinto with an open net. And he couldn't put it home for a 2-1 lead. Wow. Reimer lost his footing. Here come the Sens back in. Stützle, shot blocked on the way through. Here come the Hurricanes the other way. Leading the rush. Kakanyemi the shot blocked on the way through. Stützle the other way. Here we go. Speedy hockey here. Stützle dropped it off into the middle. Stützle the shot. Save made Bussey from the circle. Stützle along the boards. Stützle fed it in deeper for Giroux. Back for Stützle, lost the handle, got it back. Stützle leaves it Spence. Spence poke checked away, then fell down, and Slavin flips it out to center. And the other way come the Hurricanes back in. Svechnikov into the middle. Kakanyemi holds on to it, lost it to Klevin. Then Svechnikov forces a turnover. Carry behind the net, wrap around a time. Kakanyemi! Oh, he fed on the shot. An open cage. And Reimer was down, and they couldn't put it home. Tkachuk the other way. Splits through. Brady Tkachuk shot. What a save, Bussy! Here we go. We got rush-to-rush hockey end-to-end here. Stankoven back in. Stankoven holds on to it. Looks to center. Hall was there into the corner. Back up top for Walker at the blue line. Walker from the point. Feeds it in deeper into the corner. Tied up along the boards there. Comes free for Blake. Blake forced it behind the net for Hall. Hall looking. Taylor Hall still waiting. Feeds it back for Walker at the blue line. The shot! Deflected save, Reimer! And cleared out the center. Now a race for the puck here. Dylan Cousins trying to get there, and Miller got there instead. Walker now. What end-to-end hockey in the past minute or two, and no team has the lead somehow. Bussy and Reimer standing tall here in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's unbelievable. Keandre Miller. Walker now will deflect that one ahead as Pinto will go back for the puck. Shane Pinto with that open net somehow did not score on it. We'll see if we get a replay soon once we get a next whistle here. Nick Cousins trying to get it, and a turnover at the blue line. Here come the Hurricanes. Ehlers drops it into the middle. Stahl holds on to it. Marnock now to Stahl along the near boards. Feeds it back. Nikishin across. Gostisbehere shot off the blocker of Reimer. And out of play. 12:25 to go. What chances here in the second period for both teams? We remain tied at 1 here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Pinto, big stop. The rebound hit the post. Nick Cousins. Welcome you back, everybody, inside the Lenova Center here in Raleigh, North Carolina. A 1-1 tie between the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes. As we welcome you back in, I'm Max Glad you're with us here on the NHL and MHS. A crazy moment of events that just happened. End-to-end hockey. Rushes after rushes. Nick Cousins, the rush here, and he dropped it off for Pinto. The rebound here by Cousins hit the post. Hit the inside of the post, came back to Bussy, then made a save afterwards. That is unbelievable. From the blue line, Gostisbehere along the boards into the middle. Gostisbehere, a backhander! Deflected and out of play. Off a stick in front. $12:19 remaining here in the middle frame, and still a 1-1 tie here inside the Lenova Center. And great action we've been seeing here tonight between these two teams. Ottawa obviously trying to get that extra point, crucial for them and maybe their playoff status. Travis Green trying to lead them to their 5th straight victory. They need it. Jankowski gets kicked out of the faceoff dot. He'll be along the boards instead. And Kakiyemi couldn't win the draw. Klevin uses the boards, or uses the glass. Nikishin holds it in. Behind the net is Carrier. Carrier, backhand pass for Jankowski. He never got it to him as the stick was blocked in front. Spence now. 8 minutes in. Big hit behind the cage. And it's moved out to center. Knocked down Nikishin trying to get it. Using the boards to clear it out to center. In a 1-1 tie, Gossespierre re-enters. Gossespierre feeds it across. Out of the reach there of Carrier. Not out of the zone just yet, but forced out to center. Nikishin now in his own zone. 28-2 at home for the Hurricanes this season. 20 wins, 8 losses, and 2 overtime losses, or shootout losses. That's unbelievable. That's a great home record for them. Stützle will move it ahead here for Batherson. Feeds that cross ice for Giroux. Giroux holds onto it. Centered. Stützle! What a save, Bussy! Again! And a penalty upcoming, I think. Wow, what a stop. Again by Brandon Bussy. Wow. That's unbelievable. And Svechnikov takes the penalty, I believe, and so the Ottawa Senators will go to the power play. Svechnikov to the box, and the man advantage goes to the Sens, and they have an opportunity to take a 2-1 lead, but Bussy made an incredible stop there on Tim Stützle to keep this a 1-1 game. That's unbelievable. Rod Brindamore wondering why that call was made, and now he isn't arguing much there. Svechnikov in the box, and so a crucial moment almost halfway through the hockey game. Brady Tkachuk with already 3 shots here in the game. We'll have the 4 shots lucky. Sanderson from the blue line to Batherson. Batherson off the glass and cleared down the length of the ice by the Hurricanes. Sanderson will get it in the corner in his own zone. 11 minutes remaining here in the second period. Sanderson ahead now for Batherson. 11th ranked power play for the Ottawa Senators. 10th ranked penalty kill for the Hurricanes. Tkachuk leaves it. Stützle back for Tkachuk along the boards. Bounced up in the air, and Stahl has it on the backhand, and he'll clear it around as he made a spinorama move as well. Reimer can't play that one, as here's Sanderson now at the puck. Sanderson will move it ahead. Got pressured. Sanderson still has the puck. Tkachuk now to Sanderson in the corner. Sanderson will get it. Sanderson fed it in deep. Batherson on the opposite side. Tkachuk holds on to it. Fed it back into that corner. Brady Tkachuk into the middle. Stützle. Stützle the shot. Blocked by Gyres into the corner. Tkachuk back to the point. Sanderson fed it in front. Batherson lost it in the circle. And the other way come the Hurricanes. Here is Jarvis with the cutter in front. Shot! That didn't go for Walker. Stützle. He never even got the shot away. Stützle ahead now. Cousins fed that one across. It deflected off Jankowski's stick. Shabbat rimmed it all the way around with 30 seconds remaining here on the power play. Into the middle. Here's a chance. Shot! Big save, Bussy. And Aho will clear it. Halfway through the game, and 15 remaining here on the power play as it's moved through the middle. Nicely here by Giroux, fed it deep. Spence a shot, that went wide of the net. Shabbat back up top of the point, held in at the blue line. Giroux down low. Halliday has Spence in front now. Giroux, power play expires. 0 for 1 on the power play, both teams. Giroux has Spence a cutter. Spence couldn't get it as it deflected off the stick of Marinook as he was on the opposite side of the ice. Slavin and Chatfield. So both power plays have not been able to convert here in the game, and with 9 minutes remaining here in the second period, we are still tied at 1. The shots are 17-13 in favor of the Ottawa Senators, but we've had a good one here as it was end-to-end hockey before we went to commercial, and power play there for Ottawa. Big saves by Bussy. Blake in shot. Blocked in the way through. Blake again, and then he missed it wide on Reimer. Fed back for Chatfield. The shot deflected down low. Now Blake again along the boards. Fed it into the corner. Stankoven lost his footing as Nick Cousins uses the boards. And Blake trying to get there first. Zub fell down. No penalties. It goes back Stankoven. Gostisbehere back for Stankoven again. Here's Hall, who lost the handle on the puck, and he'll get it back outside of center. Hall. Gostisbehere now. Shabbat limping to the bench, and he's in a little bit of stress there. And Reimer plays it along the boards. Clevin, Amadio now will move it ahead here for Stutzla. Stutzla now with Batherson. Batherson to the net. Batherson save, Bussy! With 7:56 remaining. Brandon Bussey's going to steal a game here for the Hurricanes as this continues on. That's unbelievable. Shabbat injured on the bench. See if he continues to play here, or else he might have to go down to the locker room. A 1-1 tie. 7:56 remaining. Here in the second period. 1-1 tie. Welcome you back, everybody. A 1-1 tie, the Hurricanes and the Senators. And power play that Ottawa did not convert on. Both teams 0 for 1 on the night. This is a shot blocked from Clevin, or by Shabbat, pardon me, Shabbat. And it went off the knee of Shabbat. And he looks like he's going to play through the pain. 7:56 remaining here in the second period. He's still on the end of the bench. He's going to wait until maybe that'll go away. It's probably stinging right now as the block shot's actually 13-5 in favor of the Senators. Face-offs one here, and Ottawa on the forecheck along the boards, in Zetterland. Holloway played it deep into the corner and played in deep behind the net. Now it's played there by Eller, who lost it, held in at the point, and glove down there as Miller will move it ahead. Onside with it, Jankowski tries to go cross ice for Kotkaniemi. He gets it back, tied up, and he fell down. Penalty upcoming, and it's going against Ottawa. With 7:27 remaining, the Hurricanes to the man advantage. And again, it is Stephen Holiday. And yeah, that's a slash, I think. They called that a slash? Yeah, I'm guessing that's what it is, or interference. Kotkaniemi wanted a call. He got the call. And so, the Hurricanes with the man advantage. A broken stick. He played with a broken stick, actually. That's what the call was. Interesting one there. Face-off one here by the Hurricanes. 0 for 1 on their power play. They only had one shot on the previous one. Aho feeds it in deep into the corner. Fed in front. Jairus! He scores! And the Hurricanes have a 2-1 lead with Seth Jairus' goal. Nice setup here as it was Svechnikov to Jarvis. And with 7:21 to go, they convert on this power play. The second opportunity of the night is good. And the Hurricanes with their first lead of the game. more than halfway through. And the Hurricanes get the lead here as Seth Jarvis' 24th puts them on top at 12:39. Svechnikov and Aho with the assists, and it's a 2-1 lead for the Hurricanes. Sanderson uses the boards, and out to center it goes. Deflected back in. Sanderson got it down. Dylan Cousins forces it back out to center, as Greg will dump it back in. Ehlers now in his own corner will use the boards to get it out to center from Martinuk. And out to center it goes. Sanderson intercepted there by Walker. Dumped back in from the blue line as it's Zub reversing that back for Sanderson behind the cage. Cousins now in the corner, tied up. Tkachuk dropped it off Sanderson. That's going to be no icing. Zub will get it along the red line, and here's Tkachuk the other way. Tkachuk lost it, held it at the blue line, fed in deep by Dylan Cousins behind the cage. Dylan Cousins forced back. Amadio now stuck in the corner. Fled it back to the point as Shabbat sends it in deep. Deflected off his stick, and Ehlers now gets away from two Ottawa Senators, and Cousins and Amadio reverses that puck back for Miller. 6 minutes remain here in the second period. In Raleigh, North Carolina, a 2-1 lead for the Carolina Hurricanes. Seth Jarvis on the power play. Stankoven with some speed. Stankoven on a drag move. Dropped it into the middle, and the pass did not connect. Taylor Hall now will get that for Stankoven as he was looking to touch past that thing, and he did not. Stankoven now with the puck will carry it ahead. Stankoven turned on the Jets. Will flip it into the corner. As he dumped it back in, Jensen got hit hard there by Stankoven as Shabbat has it on the backhand, lost it to Stankoven on the forecheck. Taylor Hall tied up along the boards as Batherton trying to get it free. Jensen now behind his own cage. Now Pinto gets it now along the boards, and he'll clear it out to center. Amadio lost it at center to Taylor Hall. Hall will move it ahead with Blake. Taylor Hall still has the puck. Poke checked away, but he gets it back. Back up top to the point. Shot by Nikishin wide of the net. Where's the puck? It goes into the corner by Blake. Stankoven back up top to the point. Gostisbehere wasn't ready for it. 5 minutes remain here in the second period. Bussey plays at the Gostisbehere. Gostisbehere now. Gostisbehere will move it ahead. A stretch pass Jarvis with Svechnikov, and that pass for Aho didn't connect. And a 3-on-2 the other way. Zetterlund leading the rush, dropped it off. Here's a chance, shot over the net by Batherson. Might have been blocking the way through. Batherson fed it in deep for Stützle. On the backhand, set it in front, and Zetterlund shot it wide. Chatfield then held in at the blue line as it was turned over by Chatfield. Stützle centered. Here's a chance. Batherson, what a save. Bussy again. Aho. And the other way comes Jarvis with some speed. Jarvis to the net. He scores! What a goal by Seth Jarvis. And he gives the Hurricanes a 2-goal lead. Wow. A big save by Bussy. At the other end, it would have been 2-2 if Batherson scored on this opportunity. Instead, Aho and Jarvis went the other way, and Jarvis, the nice move to get through Batherson's pressure, and puts it home for his second of the period. He's on a hat-trick watch, Seth Jarvis. And a 3-1 lead for the Hurricanes now. Wow. On their 14th shot, 25th of the season for Seth Jarvis, 15:41. Aho and Nikishin with the assists. Ottawa's out shooting the Hurricanes 20-14. And there's a whistle here. Was there a penalty upcoming? And I think there is.
Carolina, number 28, 2 minutes for interference.
An interference call right after the Hurricanes made it 3-1, and a golden opportunity here for the Ottawa Senators to get back in the game. But they're trailing 3-1. 2 Seth Jarvis goals, one on the power play, and another one, a nice goal. We'll be back, everybody. Ottawa trying to make this a 1-goal game again. We'll be back. Welcome you back here to Raleigh, North Carolina. A power play opportunity coming here for the Ottawa Senators. They're 0 for 1 on the man advantage here in the game. They're trying to make this a one-goal game as 2 Seth Jarvis goals have happened. One on the power play and one big save by Bussey, and then it led to the Seth Jarvis goal. Carrier goes to the box for interference. And so Ottawa will have an opportunity to get back in the game and make it a 3-2 contest if they can score right here. This is a huge opportunity for them in the power play. They haven't been able to solve Bussey since the first 2 minutes of the game here, and they'll have to find a way to crack the code again as with 4:13 remaining. They need one here to make this a one-goal game before maybe going into the intermission. So a huge power play opportunity upcoming here for the Ottawa Senators as Tkachuk and Stahl on the face-off. Tkachuk won the face-off to Sanderson at the blue line. Fed that one across as Sanderson gets it back. Sanderson, Batherson now. The shot blocked on the way through. That's not going to work out. It was a long shot that was blocked on the way through, and it was held in for just a moment. Short-handed. Stahl along the boards. Lost it, and Stützle will carry it ahead with some speed. Dropped it off for Tkachuk. Tkachuk holds, shoots, save made, Bussey. And Brandon Bussey continues his night of he stopped 20 straight shots, which is unbelievable. Big stop there on a drag move by Brady Tkachuk, the captain of the Ottawa Senators. The shots in the period 10-5, but Carolina scored on 2 of their 5 shots here in the period. Ottawa again has played a good game 5-on-5, but on the power plays and their penalty kills, they have not been good. Give Carolina credit, though, to take advantage of those opportunities, though. Carolina has done a great job in converting on the opportunities that they had here in the game, and that's why they're up 3-1. Off the draw, Tkachuk tied up. Cousins fed back to the point for Sanderson. Sanderson fed it across. One-timer score! Tim Stützle, a power play goal. It is 3-2. And a huge one for the Ottawa Senators with 3:39 remaining to make it a one-goal game. As a one-timer from the circle by Tim Stützle beats Bussey. And they're finally able to crack the code on him again as it's a 3-2 game. Tim Stützle, his 26th goal of the season. And so the Senators get back on the board and respond after the 2 straight Carolina goals here in the period. 3 straight, actually, if unresponsive. And actually, that's his 27th of the season, Tim Stützle. Played along the boards. Hall turned it over to Stankoven. Stankoven back in with Blake. That pass didn't connect for Blake. Pinto flips it out to center, and Nikishin, no icing. Big hit finished there by Nick Cousins. Blake now will flip it back in. Knocked down by Shabbat. Shabbat now plays it off the boards at center. Lost it by Amadio. Blake the other way. Blake lost it. Amadio now plays it behind the net for Jensen into the corner. Jensen off a skate, and he'll play it out to center. Amadio a cutter. Amadio a chance. Blake was in the way. 22-14, the shots favoring the Sens, but they're down by 1. Carolina with a 3-2 lead. As it's played off the boards by Jensen. Batherson out the center. That's going to be an icing on Ottawa with 2:32 remaining here in the second period. And Stützle again wondering why the passes are not going their way, and frustrated obviously after scoring that power play goal. But they're back in the game. It still seems like they got to solve some chances here. Solve some opportunities that they've been able to fumble here in the game. 142 goals in his 423 career NHL games played. 386 points in his career in the NHL. 14 away from 400. Off the draw, Aho tried to win it. Instead, Shabbat will play it off the glass. Not out of the zone as Stutzla couldn't clear it. Reverse hit there by Sveshnikov. Aho plays it back to the point. Miller installs it in deep and then intercepted there by Stutzla. Stutzla will move it ahead. Stutzla back in, dropped it off. Giroux back for Stutzla. Off the boards. Stutzla holds onto it, dropped it off. Batherson holds it in. It would have been an odd man rush for the Hurricanes the other way. Jarvis now to Aho. Aho deflected back in on Reimer. Oh, he misplayed it, and he covered the puck. Oh, Seth Jarvis trying to get a hat trick off the glove of Reimer there as he was trying to bank it in off of James Reimer. As he made a simple dump in, more complicated than he needed to do so. Wow. Still a minute and 56 remaining here in our second period in a 3-2 game. Hurricanes up 3-2. 2 Seth Jarvis goals. The last one by Seth Jarvis was a beauty, and that's the difference right now in the game. Both teams have a power play goal here in this period. Seth Jarvis, one of them, and Tim Stutz the other, in respective teams. Shots are 21-15 in favor of the Sens, but they are trailing 3-2. And it's been a highly entertaining hockey game here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Back and forth here as Tkachuk and Stahl in the face-off dot. Stahl wins the draw. Martinuk plays it back to the point. Chatfield deflected that into the far corner. As it's played here by Clevin, who reverses it back here behind the net for Spence. Intercepted along the wall by Chatfield. His shot directed wide as Ehlers couldn't get there first. Here's Greg, who's had some speed, but Dylan Cousins didn't have enough handle on the puck there. Tkachuk trying to get that pass in the corner. He did not. And a minute and a half remaining here in the second period. Slavin, Chatfield will clear it out to center. Dumps back in. Spence now on the backhand. Uses the glass. And again, it's turned right back over at center ice as it's shot back in from center by Slavin. Along the boards, Chatfield forces him off the puck, but the Senator is able to clear it in Dylan Cousins. Nikishin now will use the boards. Out to center it goes. Ottawa was going for a line change there. They had to be careful to not get a too many men call there. Sanderson fed it in deep in front. Here's a chance. Shot by Eller, blocked on the way through. Eller looks to center again. Zetterlund right into the glove of Bussey with 48.3 remaining here in the second period and a face-off inside the Hurricane zone. The Sens just trying to take advantage of this last seconds of the period. Maybe they can get the tying mark here. Going into the third period. We will see. As the faceoff is inside the Hurricane zone due to that glove save there by Bussey, who was able to just scoop that easily. Stoppable shot there. 25-19, the faceoff wins in favor of the Hurricanes. Stutzla, this is a surprise because Ottawa's been one of the best teams faceoff-wise. Another big faceoff by Ottawa. Sanderson from the blue line blocked into the corner. And it's flipped to the blue line and out. Not held in there by Clevin. With 40.5 remaining in the second. 3-2 Hurricanes. Will go over the scoring in our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL and MHS scoreboard. We'll go over that, what the scores are around the National Hockey League. Been some low-scoring games, a 2-2 tie with the Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins, so we'll go over that too. Dumped back in as it's deflected in deep. Amadio fell down for some odd reason. As here's Sanderson flipping it out to center. Glove down there by Walker, who was pressured from behind. Rimmed all the way around. A Zub will send it down the length of the ice for an icing. 15.6 remaining, and that's something you do not want to do in the late stages of the period. Or else it could cost you right here as the Hurricanes will have a face-off here. Maybe they added some time back to the clock, maybe? I don't think they will, but I think this is just going to stay at 15.6, but this could be a crucial mistake if the Hurricanes take advantage and win the faceoff and potentially get the 4-2 lead right here. If they can win the draw. They do. Miller from the draw dropped it off. Here's Walker's shot, blocked on the way through. Stankoven along the board. Stankoven looks to center. Comes back for Hall. Hall cross ice. And patient play there by Walker. Miller found on the one-timer. And that'll do it for the second period. Almost cost them. But it's a 3-2 game. Hurricanes with the lead. 2 goals by Jarvis here in the middle frame. But Ottawa responds with Stutzla's goal on the power play. And this should be an interesting third period to go as it's a 3-2 game. Our intermission report coming up next here on the NHL on MHS. We welcome you to the intermission report here on the NHL and MHS. I'm Max. Glad you're with us here. And let's go over the scores around the National Hockey League, then go over the scoring that happened in that second period by the Hurricanes and the Ottawa Senators. Let's look over this right here. Blue Jackets Devils still scoreless in the second intermission. The Capitals Flyers game was 2-0 Flyers. Grunstrom with the goal. Delorier and Ristolainen with the assist. Delorier's first assist of the season. Then it was Protas with the goal. And Bovilio with the assist. A shorthanded goal in Washington. Gets within 1. Then our Sabres Lightning game right here. Nikita Kucherov. And then in the first period, Matthias Samuelsson, who's having a career year, ties it at his 10th of the season. And an interesting one here is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Islanders. Mantha scoring at 12:09, his 20th of the season. Responded late here by Horvat. You thought that was the latest goal, 22nd of the season. Andrews Lee with his 20th assist. Matthew Schaefer, the rookie continues. The rookie defenseman continues. What a season he's having. Matthew Schaefer from the blue line with the delayed call. Palat and Horvat with the assists with less than 4 seconds remaining in the first period. And it's 2-1 Islanders in the second. Right now, it's ongoing right now. Igor Chinakhov tied it. 3:52 in. Novak Carlson with the assist. His 11th of the season, Igor Chinakhov. And then the Maple Leafs Oilers game barely started 5 minutes ago, and they're 5 minutes in, and scoreless. Shots are 4-1 Maple Leafs. Let's go over the scores around the net, or our game. And let's see here. Let's pull up to the game center so you can see the visualizer. The second period, Seth Jarvis, 12:39 in. We had no scoring in the first half of that second period. The shots were 21-16 in favor of the Ottawa Senators after 40. Aho, Sveshnikov, Jarvis found an opening, and he finds the back of the net. Sveshnikov and Aho with the assists on a power play goal. And then moments later, 3 minutes later actually, big save here by Bussy on Batherson. And then Aho and Jarvis again combining with another play. Jarvis says, "I'll take it myself to the house." And he does, giving Carolina a 3-1 lead. But then Carey takes a penalty right after. And so Ottawa gets a power play opportunity, and less than a minute later, 40 seconds later, Tim Stützle from the circle as Sanderson played it from the blue line. One times that puck home, and it's a 3-2 game. And incredibly, Ottawa's back in the game, and they played very well. Hurricanes just holding on to that 3-2 lead right now. Face-off in favor of the Hurricanes, 57.4. They've won 27 out of 47. The power plays are 1 for 2 for both teams. 16-13 the hits favoring the Hurricanes. Block shots 13-7 favor the Ottawa Senators. Giveaways 11-6 favoring the Senators, and the takeaways 4-3 in favor of the Senators. Other matchup, the season series actually, back in Ottawa, a 4-1 win for the Hurricanes on January 24th. That wasn't too long ago. So Ottawa trying to get revenge, and Carolina with a 3-2 lead in this one. They don't play a game until April 5th to cap off this season series. We'll be back, everybody, and we'll give you bonus coverage.
Some crazy play with 9:31. We'll take a break. Another close call. Very close to the roster freeze. It is tomorrow. James trying to fork his way through it back in the neutral zone. That one goes in deep. At the corner. 9-19. Play that through the neutral zone. That one goes in deep. Around the corner. Icing calls. .10 here in the second. Off off the draw. Chasting for it back up to the right point. Far wing wall, Hagel. Fumbles out of the zone. So 8:52, that one's played out through the neutral zone. Kucherov, Byram out the near wing. He got tripped up with Kucherov. They all hugged each other. 8:43, past the line. Left wing, throws that one at the net from the corner. Hagel there, back up to the point from the line. Right wing moving in, Samuelson plays across. Oh, he missed it there with a shot. Thompson there, the back wall. Radish to the corner. Hagel, right wing, Radish to Kucherov. And he got jacked down. Here come the Sabres, Tage Thompson. Right wing, he'll put on the brakes. Thompson puts it in deep at the back wall. Tuck. Up to the line. Waiting, throws it at the net. Missed wide! And out of the zone. Oh, no, it didn't go out. It went off the glass. Dahlin. It was a failed clearing time up before. Thrown at the net and still hooking for it. Jamming for it. Ricochets to stick. Look out, a 3-on-1. Two players coming back. They're going to try to get there. They do. Puts on the brakes. McDonough now moving in from the corner. Off the net, came off. .7:36 to go here in the first. .738. From the circle. Across the line from the point. Thrown at net. Saved by Ellis. Off the right pad and out. Zucker in deep. After it is Holmberg, leads that to Gergensen now. Maybe a chance here is Chernak curling to the outside and thrown in deep. Ripped around the boards at the back wall. Quinn was there. It's forced down by McLeod. Kept it at the point. Ricochets to stick. Pinballs for a Buffalo player. Past the line. Trying to move in. Nice job. Try the crossover. Chernak got the puck. At the right wing. Holmberg was there, goes out to the back wall. McDonough trying to fish his way past the man. He does. Throws it in the neutral zone. Pinballs off a deflection, off a bad pass. It's Helenas who his power is now the far wing. Across the power once again. Trying to get back on the puck from the point. Thrown in deep to the back wall. At the corner. From the back wall, plays that out. Carlisle drive. It goes off the miss. Pinball out in front down the back wall. Trying to curl through it. At the near wall, Carlisle at the corner. Jamming for it. At the back wall, here comes Power back the other way. 5:58. Plays that ahead. Throws it at net. Saved by Vasilevsky. Doan ahead now. 3-on-4. Throws down at net. Fought off of the blocker. That's the Sabres' first shot of the period. And trying to get away, they do. New fresh legs on. Carlisle whipped it across rink wide. On his knees. Allenstein. Now James throws that one in deep. At the back wall. Here comes Malistine on the right wing. From the red line, lobbed it in deep. Vasilevsky. Moser on it. He puts on the brakes and lifts that one ahead. Gonsalves was there. Mallenstein to the back wall. Radish to the left circle. At the back wall. Long change with 4:42. Due for a goal. Moser. Faked it now. Here he goes. Plays that through the neutral zone. Trying to get the stretch pass. It's free. Samuelson. 4:25. Ahead, here's Thompson now. On a 3-on-3. Throws that one in net. Save. It was fought off with a blocker. Yanni Gord. Down the ice it goes. 4:14. Icing called. Thompson throws that one in net. Ricochets wide. Zucker now. Caught in, taken away. That's just lobbed out deep. Oh, this might be an icing, and it is not. Byram there against Gord. Shakes him off. Puts on the brakes. Got a screen from 78. Jacob Bryson. Throws that one in deep off a deflection from the corner. Behind the net. Jousting for Kucherov. Popped that ahead from Carlisle. Victor Hedman on the right wing. Hagel on the outside. Hagel puts on the brakes. He throws that one in deep, looking for help. Byram. Gensel. McLeod now, trying to play that one ahead.
Welcome you back, everybody, to the Lenovo Center inside of Raleigh, North Carolina, and a 3-2 lead for the Hurricanes entering the third period. A pretty hectic second period with 2 goals by Seth Jarvis for the Carolina Hurricanes, and but then Tim Stutzler responded on the power play to give the Senators back in the game and make it a 3-2 contest. One of the Seth Jarvis goals was also a power play goal. But we have a tight one here inside of the Lenovo Center, and this should be an interesting finish to this game for sure. As it's 3-2, Hurricanes on top. Jarvis with 24th and 25th goal of the season. So Aho got the assist on both of those, especially Kyle got the assist on the first one. Tim Stutzler is 27th. Sanderson and Cousins with the assist. Ottawa led the shots 10-7 after the second. The total 21-16 in favor of the Sens, but they are still trailing by 1. They need to find a way to get back in the game, and they got to just keep pushing on because they've played an excellent game. They just got to cover it a little bit better defensively, and they should be able to tie this one up, and maybe we could potentially see overtime here tonight. We will see. As a 3-2 Hurricanes lead. With Adel, with the third period coming up, and Bussey has been spectacular in net for the Hurricanes all night. And he's made the saves when they have been very big saves by Brandon Bussey. He has been a crucial player in this one for the Carolina Hurricanes to keep him in the game, and he's already had 19 saves tonight. And incredible mark by him. We're underway here in the third period. Walker now will flip it ahead. Hall tries to knock it down. Hall dropped it. Blake, the shot over the net by Reimer. That whistled wide. 22-2-2, and leading after the second period, the Carolina Hurricanes. Shot back in from the red line by the Hurricanes as is played along the wall. Ottawa 2-16-2 when trailing after 2 periods. Amadio will get in the corner. Flipped it to the near side. Pinto along the boards. Pinto lost it. Brady Tkachuk has it. Feeds it to a vacant blue line. Jensen and Sanderson, who are at their respective points Instead, it went to the middle of that blue line and out to center and back into the middle ice as Sanderson dumped it back in from the red line. And Jarvis, Chatfield, actually, dumps back in. Brady Tkachuk will get it. Brady Tkachuk behind the net. Goes back up top for Zub. Feeds it across. Long shot blocking the way through. Fed behind the net now as it was intercepted by Slavin. Greg trying to get it along the boards. Brady Tkachuk couldn't get there first. Slavin into the middle. And Dylan Cousins was there. He was trying to dive for that puck and he couldn't get there. Martinook will shoot it in off the back of the cage. Sanderson will clear it to the blue line and out to center. And it's shot back in by Dylan Cousins as he'll go for a change. Bussey plays it behind the cage for Sean Walker, leaving it for Keandre Miller. Back for Walker. Into the middle for Aho. Aho will carry it ahead. Sebastian Aho enters the zone. Slowly and patiently waiting. He gets taken down along the boards. Svechnikov throwing some little wax there along the boards. Svechnikov fed into the corner for Walker. Jarvis is in front looking for the hat trick. Turned it over. Chance Aho, and that's blocked on the way through by Spence. Svechnikov blocked the clearance attempt by Spence. They've been pushy all night. And Clevin along the boards. Big hit. Turnover. Jarvis with a hat trick. Oh, what a save, Reimer. What a save, James Reimer, to deny Seth Jarvis of the hat trick. A turnover along the wall by Clevin and a big stop there by James Reimer. Jankowski and Lars Eller in the faceoff dot. Eller won the draw in his own zone, uses the boards, the sideboards, and Eller gets it back. Zetterlund will move it ahead. Forced it back in at the blue line. Eller will go back for the puck in center ice. Shabbat now for Jensen. Near the vacant penalty box, this is dumped back in. Zetterlund on the forecheck, trying to get there first. He does. Zetterlund in front. Loose puck. It's still loose. Bussey covers it. And a net scramble in front of Bussey almost led to the tying goal for the Senators at 3. Eller and Zetterlund had a whack at it. And then Halliday as well. Holiday. Off the draw, one here. And Slavin uses the boards to clear it out to the blue line. Not out of the zone just yet. Dylan Cousins, Tkachuk on the forecheck. Chatfield ties him up in the corner. And fed back to the blue line, and it's cleared all the way down. No icing as it was waved off by the linesman. Shabbat in his own zone. Shabbat will stretch it ahead. It was deflected with 16:46 remaining here in the third period, and we get a whistle. And we've had some chances here for both teams in the game, as they have been spectacular ones as well. They are been some chances that could have tied it, could have made it 4-2. We could have seen his hat trick. Seth Jarvis, the big stop, Reimer. Might be a game saver if the Senators come back in this one. Travis Green not liking something as he said something blanking joke. Now you can make up whatever he's talking about. I don't know what he was, but he was mad about something. Amadio back in. He stole it away from Nikishin. Amadio to the net. Nice drag move. Backhand. Bussey the save. Zub centered to the top of the crease. It goes back for Batherson. Back for Pinto. Pinto. Back for Zub. Zub the shot deflected on Bussey. And a save made. Blake, not a Stankoven. Pinto tries to knock that down. Reimer will cover it. Wow, Bussey with another big stop on Amadio right here. Made the drag move, the backhand, it was loose. The rebound was sitting there for like a split second. Wow. What a move there by Michael Amadio. And a big stop there by Bussy to keep this a 1-goal lead for the Hurricanes. He's still out there on the ice, Michael Amadio. But instead, the faceoff will take place inside of their own zone, the Ottawa Senators. Faceoff won by the Canes. Shot by Chatfield. Blocked on the way through as Zetterlund. And Chatfield again. Chatfield ahead for Jankowski. Jankowski through the middle. Stolen away on the back check. Looked like Amadio got a high stick. Delayed penalty. Amadio back in. Fake the slap shot. Penalty upcoming to the Canes here as he got high sticked. Touched up. And the Ottawa Senators are going to go to the power play with a chance to tie it. Is it a 4-minute power play? That's the question. Let's see.
It's for high sticking.
2 minutes for high sticking. There was no blood. So it only stays a 2-minute power play for the Senators, but a huge opportunity there. They scored on their last power play, trying to make it 2 for 2 on their last 2 opportunities. Power play for the Sens. Jankowski for high sticking at 4:05. Batherson fed it in deep. Tkachuk's in the middle. Behind the net now. They're trying to move it around here. As Cousins fed it. Tkachuk's in the middle. Batherson now holds on to it. Batherson at the blue line. Stützle down low. Tkachuk in the middle. Backdoor Stützle was there. Tkachuk now Stützle again. Stützle patiently waiting in the corner. Stützle still waiting. Tkachuk at top. Stützle again. Holds on to it. Patiently waiting. Flips it across for Batherson. Here's a chance for Cousins. He holds on to it. Cousins for Batherson. Batherson back for Cousins. Waiting. And Sanderson a shot. He scores! It is a tie hockey game at 3. With another power play goal by the Sens. And with less than 5 minutes into the third period, that one ripped home by Sanderson from the blue line. Through a screen, and Stützle might have gotten a piece of it maybe. Beats Bussy on the glove side, and with 15:03 remaining, Sanderson was his 11th at 4:57. Batherson and Cousins with the assists. And it's a 3-3 game in Raleigh, North Carolina. Face-off won by the Canes. So their 2-goal lead gone. It's disappeared here in the third period. Nikishin turned it over almost. It's held in at the blue line there by Cousins. Nick Cousins now. Nikishin now will move it ahead. Nikishin flips that in the air. Jensen gloved it down, then moved it ahead. Amadio trying to clear it. Held in by Stankoven. Stankoven along the boards. Fed it around Taylor Hall, and Nikishin couldn't get to hold it in. And then squatted ahead. Amadio fell down again. Gostisbehere now with the puck. 4-1 the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators here in the third period. Gostisbehere now patiently waiting. Deflects that back in. Jensen now behind his own cage. Look to move it ahead. Stützle. Giroux couldn't clear it. Shot from the blue line. Wide of Reimer. Goes back. Shot by Miller. Blocked on the way through. Injured Sen on the ice as this Batherson carrying it ahead. Shabbat trying to get it. Lost it. As it's moved ahead here. There look like there's too many men there on the Canes as Miller will move it ahead. Miller blocked away. Miller gets it back. Then turned over here. Gregg could have sent a man open on a break potentially. Shabbat now to Zub. Zub now will move it ahead. Deflected back into the Canes zone. Forced back out the center. Zub will shoot it back in from the red line. Played along the boards as Walker will flip it out all the way down the length of the ice for an icing with 13:25 remaining here in the third period as a power play goal and by the Sens again. Stützle the block shot here, and that's why he was down for a little bit there. That's what I was referring to earlier on in that play. Tim Stützle able to block that shot. It stings. They've blocked 15 shots tonight, the Sens. 25-17, the shots favoring the Ottawa Senators. The faceoffs in favor of the Hurricanes, 30-24. Aho trying to win the draw, couldn't. Spence from the blue line. The shot deflected wide to Bussey. Jarvis clears it. And Gregg will go back for the puck. Gregg uses the backboards to get it to Spence. Spence reverses from pressure from Marnock. Spence behind his own cage now. He'll patiently wait as his team goes for a partial change here in the forward group. Spence now will use the boards in front of the benches to dump that one back in. Bussey plays it along the boards and get it out to center ice. Marnock the other way on the counterattack. Force it in deep. Zub will pick up the puck now behind his own cage, and he'll clear it out to center. Intercepted by Slavin again, and Marnock will shoot it back in from the red line. Zub on the backhand, trying to move it ahead, stall. He had Ehlers in front, but he was tied up, though, by Zub. Here's Sanderson the other way. Sanderson to Zetterlund. Sanderson will get in along the boards. Mishandled it. Zetterlund now with the puck. Try to feed it back to a point. That got intercepted. And Aho will move it into the middle for Ehlers. Ehlers reverses that one back as Ehlers leaves it for Keandre Miller. Almost 8 minutes into the third period. 3-3 tie. Sanderson on the power play. Less than 5 minutes in, tied the game at 3. And in Raleigh, North Carolina, we have a good one here. If you're tuning in with us on the NHL and MHS, will this be an icing? Yes, it will be on Ottawa. 11:51 remaining here in the third period. A 3-3 tie as Jake Sanderson with the goal on the power play that has given the Ottawa Senators the tying goal. And the faceoff will be in the Ottawa zone due to the icing. Reimer have to stay stall. Another faceoff win inside of the Ottawa zone by the Hurricanes, but they haven't been able to deal much. This might be another one. No, it's not. Walker will pick it up now between the circles. Walker stretches it ahead. Intercepted, though, at center ice. Here's Amadio again. Michael Amadio gets it along the boards. Amadio forced off the play by Walker. Amadio gets up, though, as Nick Cousins forces in deep. Pinto holds onto it. Shane Pinto along the boards. Fed it behind the net as Walker intercepts the pass. Pinto trying to hold it and he couldn't. Shot back in from the red line by the Hurricanes as they were going for a change. As it was moved ahead here by Nick Jensen. Will that be another icing? No, it won't be. Nikishin around the boards. Pinto backhands that one back into the Hurricane zone. Nikishin intercepted and turned over again. Clevin. Now here's a chance for Dylan Cousins the other way. Dylan Cousins forced off into the corner by Nikishin. Stankoven couldn't clear it as Tkachuk held it in. And no one there at the blue line to get the pass there. Reimer gets it behind his own cage. It's Spence now. We'll have the puck. Jordan Spence carries it ahead with some speed. If that was touched there, Gregg would have been offside and would have called the play dead. Tkachuk gets it at center. Whacks at it. And it's forced back in by Dylan Cousins. Bussey out of his own net to play that behind the net. Stretch ahead here. Martina couldn't get it. Dylan Cousins plays that back. Sanderson back for Dylan Cousins again. Batherson will move it ahead. Drake Batherson trying to cut to the defense. Batherson forced behind the net, though, by Slavin. Marnock has the puck, and he'll clear it out to center ice. Sanderson now uses the board. Stützle deflects that one back in as Giroux will get it into the far corner. Giroux forced off by Marnock. Batherson trying to get it free. Stuck along the boards. And not out of the zone just yet as Giroux held it in deep. Slavin intercepts and Slavin uses the boards to clear it down the length of the ice. No ice as Slavin deflected it. Sanderson backhands that one around. Couldn't get enough steam on that one. Sanderson now gets it again. Jake Sanderson now. Amadio reverses back here. Michael Amadio will use the glass to get into himself. Amadio will carry it ahead of some speed. Amadio trying to get through. Forcing to the corner. Centering pass. In the skates. Backed up top. Jensen. Shot! That goes wide of the net. Walker in the corner. Svechnikov. And it's cleared ahead. Race for the puck. Jarvis trying to split through. Jarvis forced off the puck as he was muscled away there. Nick Cousins and then Shabbat. Now Amadio up in the air. Where's the puck? Amadio. And Jensen now have the puck with 9 minutes remaining here in regulation. Pinto. And intercepted at center again. Shot back in. Reimer out to play it. Reimer plays it. Reverse pass for Jensen. Jensen uses the boards. Got to spare. That had been offside of Kakanyemi. Touched it. He touched back up, so they're back on side. Covered by Reimer with 8:42 to go. A 3-3 tie. Ottawa has been able to tie this game up. We'll be back, everybody. A good one here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Sanderson ties the game with 8:42 remaining here in the third. Welcome you back, everybody. A 3-3 tie. Hurricane sends 8:42 to go in the third period. A 3-3 tie. And we're back off the face-off as Ottawa wins it in their own zone. Carey trying to hold it in along the boards. He does. Try to move it ahead for Nikishin. Was blocked away. Bouncing puck in the circle. Jankowski trying to pick it up now. Carrier now along the board. Sanderson forced it along for Zub in the far corner. And he gets finished his check there. Stankoven, or Kakanyemi, pardon me. And that's going to be an icing on Ottawa. No, it's not. Never mind. Got to spare now. It looked like for a second maybe the linesman was not going to call that off, but he did. Nikishin now will shoot that back in from the red line. As Spence along the boards. Forced off as Dylan Cousins. Reverse back. Kachuk. Less than 8 minutes to go here in the third period of a 3-3 tie here inside of the Lenova Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. Bussey uses the glass to try to clear it. Slavin helps him out. Turned it over. Almost in the high slot for Dylan Cousins. Cleared down the length of the ice by the Hurricanes. It will be an icing on Carolina with 7:34 remaining here in the third period. So the Hurricanes can't change, and this could set up a crucial opportunity here for the Ottawa Senators so they can win the draw. As the Ottawa Senators looking for points, it doesn't even matter if they get overtime points. They need points. 3 shots, 1 goal for Stützle in the game. He'll take the face-off. He'll win it, too. Sanderson, the Zub. Zub holds on to it. The shot deflected off a skate wide, and Marnock will move it ahead. And that will be no icing as it slowed down at the last second. The boards were in favor of Marnock. As Sanderson plays it back. Zub into the middle. As Giroux will dump that one back in. Batherson behind the net. Drake Batherson with the puck on the backhand. Along the boards, Batherson forced it in deep. Aho will flip it up in the air. Chatfield and Jensen has the puck in his own zone. Playing it back here. Shabbat almost hit into his own bench. And shot back in by Nick Cousins. Bussy out to play it. And Miller has some trouble as he was facing pressure. Aho reverses that around for Svechnikov, who turned it over. Nick Cousins forcing it in deep for Amadio. Pinto's in front. But forced off the play there by Miller. Jensen holds it in. Jensen the shot deflected wide. Aho now has it in his own zone. Will carry it ahead for Svechnikov. Svechnikov along the near boards. Svechnikov trying to find a man cutting. Shot by Stankoven wide. Miller back along the boards. Blake trying to cycle with Stankoven. The pass did not connect. Hall has the puck. Blake, high slot. Blake holds on to it too long. Hall a shot blocked on the way through. And off the glass, it's Cousins who will move it ahead for Amati on the flip pass. Walker deflected it away. Taylor Hall now. Now Walker reverses it. Keandre Miller. And he'll ice the puck here for the Hurricanes with 5:47 remaining here in regulation. .547 to go. Cousins with 2 assists in the game. And a face-off here inside the Hurricane zone. Once again, Cousins wins the face-off. Spends a shot wide of the net. Off the backboards, it's Tkachuk. Tkachuk has the puck. Brady Tkachuk pressured from behind there by Miller. Brady Tkachuk still has it pinned up along the boards, but Stankoven picks it up now. Stankoven flips it out to center as Spence will knock down the puck. Uses the boards to bank it back in. Walker intercepts. Here's Marnock, now for Taylor Hall. Dumping that one deep into the corner. Marnock trying to get it. Clevin now. Ahead now for Dylan Cousins. And he'll backhand that one back in. Stretch pass. Stahl on a breakaway. He scores! A bad line change by Ottawa gives the Hurricanes a 4-3 lead. Wow. That is a terrible line change by the Ottawa Senators. And a great pass here to send Stahl on a breakaway. And with 5:07 remaining here in regulation, Ottawa was down 3-1, and now, after they tied it, and now the Hurricanes have a 4-3 lead. That is huge for the Canes. And they get the goal. Wow. And now Aho splits in. Aho tries to center one. Zub. That's the one thing that they've been bad at defensively, the Ottawa Senators, and it's come back to bite here late in regulation. But still some time for them. Giroux flips it up in the air. Out to center and Chatfield. Stützle trying to get it. That one flipped into the bench and out of play with 4:43 remaining here in the third period. Wow. Jordan Stahl, with his 14th of the season, gives the Hurricanes a 4-3 lead late in regulation. We'll be back. Jordan Stahl has given the Carolina Hurricanes a lead late here in regulation, but Ottawa still has 4:43 left to try to tie this game. Face-off won here by the Sens. Jordan Stahl was 14th at 14:53. Ehlers with the assist. Sent him on a breakaway on a bad line change by the Sens. And Sanderson will shoot it back in. That is a brutal one to give up late here in the third period by the Ottawa Senators. And Sanderson pressured from behind there by Jarvis, who's looking for the hat trick. Comes a question when you pull James Reimer here. Here is Batherson carrying it ahead. Poke check from behind. It's Svechnikov. Chatfield now reverses it back. Here is Slavin with the puck now. Slavin behind his own net with less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. Ehlers tries to spin away from a check. Greg got there. Fed it in deep for Brady Tkachuk. Looks the center one off the stick. A Bussy is bouncing around, and then it is cleared. Big hit on Ehlers by Dylan Cousins. Marnock the other way. Marnock gets taken down. Getting physical in the last 30 seconds. And it goes deep into the far corner with 3.5 to go. Shabbat, probably in a minute or so, Ottawa will pull Reimer here. For the next offensive zone time they get, Zetterlund tries to carry it ahead. They have been so sloppy with the passes here in the third period. It is insane. Not clean passes here. And another intercept again. Ehlers was able to force that one out. Here is Blake the other way. Forced off from Pinto. Pinto lost it. Taylor Hall feeds it back. Stankoven feeds it back up top of the point. Here's Miller now. Miller into the middle. Miller gets it back with less than 3 to go. Stankoven behind the net. Stankoven holds on to it. Along the near boards. Feeds it back. Walker's down low. Miller holds on to it. Miller across for Stankoven, who has some room. Stankoven in front, and the deflection went wide. Walker. Taylor Hall now lost it as Blake rimmed it all the way around for Stankoven in the far corner. Centering pass for Blake. Save made. Reimer. A huge one there. Stankoven now. Pressure here by the Canes late here in regulation. Shot wide of the net. Blake tries to center one. Some tired Ottawa Senators there on the ice. As Sanderson will carry it ahead. Zetterlund. They got to pull the goaltender soon. They got to get a change. Bussy plays it for Miller behind his own cage. And Ottawa still has not had possession here offensively. Tkachuk intercepts along the board. Stützle trying to send it back in. Couldn't. As there's 2 minutes remaining here in the third period. In a 4-3 Hurricanes lead. Into the corner. Aho trying to get Spence. Reverses it around for Clevin. Got to think the next rush here. They pull Reimer here soon. Deflected back in by Tkachuk. No, it's going to be an icing. Wow, this is awful by the Ottawa Senators. Awful effort to try to get something going, and they have not. They ice the puck instead. That is horrible if you're the Ottawa Senators. 2 power play goals here in the game for the Sens. Jake Sanderson got an assist on one of the power play goals. He got the goal to tie the game here in the third period on the power play. And who knows, maybe another one in store for Sanderson. Maybe he can set up one or get the one to tie this game at 4. Tkachuk around the boards. Stützle will move it ahead. Tim Stützle lost it as he got forced off the puck. Intercepted at center. Aho and then Svechnikov. That's played with a high stick with 1:31 remaining. Third period here in Raleigh, North Carolina is going to be a great finish if Ottawa can get something going here late in regulation. But they need something quickly. As obviously Travis Green trying to get his squad get some momentum and go to the other side of the ice and not in their own zone. They don't want to be in the defensive zone trying to tie this game. They need to go offensively, and you got to think Reimer is going to be the one that that's going to be coming out soon. Reimer's going to have to get pulled out of the net. They need to win this faceoff. If you're the Ottawa Senators, you got to win the faceoff. Carolina just tie it up along the boards and kill off the time if you can. Stützle now at the puck. Stützle now. Reverse back for Sanderson. Sanderson ahead now. Deflected back in. They just cannot hand a puck right now. Reimer's to the bench. Played along the boards. Empty net at the other end. As Marnock clears it out to center. Shot back in by Sanderson. Slavin now with the empty net all the way down and wide on an icing. Minute and 6 remaining, and do you take your timeout right here if you're Travis Green? I think he would. Empty net, and I don't think he's going to take it. I don't know. I'm not sure. That might have deflected off Tim Stützle. Could be a case of maybe that's not icing. Face-off, one here by Tkachuk. A minute left to go. Stützle feeds it back to the blue line. Sanderson along the boards. Batherson deflected into the corner. Giroux with less than a minute to go. Here's Batherson for Giroux along the boards. Back for Batherson. Batherson to Giroux again in the circle. Down low. Cousins back for Giroux. Across Sanderson, a one-timer. Oh, what a save, Bussy with the glove. That's unbelievable. He's done it again. Icing with 38.1 remaining. He was down and out, and somehow he got a piece of it with the glove. He always does this when the opposition has an extra attacker, it seems like. When they're looking to tie the game, he comes up big. And again, he does. What a chance by Jake Sanderson. And I think you got to take a timeout right here, maybe. Wow. Close to a tie game. They're not going to take one. Tkachuk and Stahl. Stahl wins the draw. That's a huge one. Chatfield trying to clear it. Not out of the zone just yet. Kick that. Stahl couldn't get it out. Here's Batherson along the corner. Tkachuk looking at center. Tkachuk lost it. Stahl. 25 to go. Cousins is in the middle. Goes back. Sanderson, a shot deflected wide. Stützle trying to hold it in. Sanderson does. Sanderson to Stützle. Tied up as a hand pass. Oh, wow. 16.2 to go. Unfortunate break there for Ottawa, and I don't know, they're going to tie this game. That might have been the save that saved this game. That might have been the game winner. And everyone to their feet here in Raleigh, North Carolina, and a timeout being called here by Ottawa. And they're going to not reset the clock, actually. 30-second timeout by the Sens, trying to tie this game with less than 20 seconds remaining here in the third period. What a stop here by Bussy. I still cannot get over that. That is an incredible stop there by Bussy right there. Brandon Bussy shaking his head like, yes, that's how we roll here in North Carolina. 16.5 remaining. In the third period, the faceoff will come out to center. The Hurricanes trying to hold on with a 4-3 lead late here in regulation. Faceoffs outside of the Carolina zone. Giroux and Aho. Movement, so they have to reset. Giroux needs to win this faceoff cleanly, and they got to get an entry quickly. Giroux trying to win the draw. Tie up. Empty net for Jarvis for the hat trick. He couldn't get it. Sanderson. And now deflected back in. 8 seconds remaining. Into the corner. Cousins. 6 seconds to go. Here is Giroux along the boards. Cousins looks to center. Loose puck at the side of the cage. It's over. What a save. Bussy at the horn. Bussy does it again, and the Hurricanes win it by a score of 4-3. That's unbelievable. He's done it again. Wow. Brandon Bussy stops Brady Tkachuk in the last seconds. I don't know if this would have counted. Jarvis saved a goal. Jarvis saved a goal. He stole it away at the last second. And the Hurricanes win it with a late goal by Stahl on a breakaway. Well, that's going to do it for us here on the NHL and MHS. 4-3, the Hurricanes win it. Jordan Stahl gets the game winner on a breakaway, and Bussy gets another win in his young career. We'll see you next time here, and good night, everybody.